Tonight I'll reach out and touch the sky. In the city of angels, feels like I'm coming home. With my head up in the clouds, I am searching for something, and I'm still hoping. 'Cause I wanna be in, not out, wanna make this all count. Yes, I wanna go crazy now, gonna make this all count. Feeling like a rock star, 'cause tonight I'm feeling out of line and it's alright. Feeling like feeling like just as cool as John Wayne in his movies. Feeling like I'm James Dean and I know it. Feeling like feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star. Feeling like a rock star.
Why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you. Watch all night, 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 watch all night. Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Baby, now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, baby. Give me all your love, all your love, all your love. Give me all your love, baby.
all night.
Tell me, why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah,
There we go. Hello, Annette Purple Paisley Planner said smash the like. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. How are we doing, my friends? How are we doing today? Holy crap. I've had so many tech issues. Whoa. Let me get my mic in the right spot. I've had so many tech issues over the last week. And so hopefully everything is going to go flawlessly today. It's my plan, of course. Let me get this banner off of here. Get off there. Okay, so here's what we're doing today. I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple things. Well, this is a live Q&A. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to post those in the comments. Sorry, I'm clearly still trying to get my life together over here with all my tech and all the hootenanny going on over here. Let me check something really quick. That is why. Whoa. Okay, so hopefully everything is, again, like I said, working and sounding great and everything's okay, because I have literally had so many tech issues. Over the last week, I've had to uninstall applications and reinstall them. I don't know if it has to do with the update that happened to the PC world, all of us Windows people. I don't know if that was it or something else. I don't know, but I hopefully we're back in good shape here. I also got a little winter cold, not the one that you're all thinking of, but I did. I broke my pinky finger about 2 months ago, and it's going to be like this for a while. So it is what it is. Okay, I'm trying to get my headphones adjusted here too. I am a mess right now, aren't I? I got to get this show on the road. I got to get this act together here. Here we go. Okay. So today we're actually going to talk about, should you stream music? Should you play music while you're streaming? I don't know if you all noticed or if you all heard the big news from StreamYard, but they have now added background music into your studio. So all StreamYard users now have background music that you can play in your studio. I will show it to you. I'm going to literally show you right away. Get it together, MDH, right? Seriously. I'm all over the place. Okay, I did get a workout in this morning, FYI. So James Hicks and I are we're doing a weekly challenge right now. He's going to kill me. I know it. He's going to kick my butt. I know it. But I did get a workout in today. It was a quick, short one. Okay, so StreamYard just released a new feature where they actually have background music that you can play in your streams, and it is inside your studio. So it's native to the application. It's in the app. As of right now, you cannot upload your own music yet, but that is coming. They said that's coming. So we'll see how long that takes for that to happen. Right. Will they be allowing people to upload their royalty-free music in that section? What they have said, they've basically said not yet. So that tells me yes. That tells me that they will be allowing that, but not yet. So that is the case. Sorry, I've moved everything around. Everything's different. And so just trying to get all that together here. So sorry. Hopefully everything sounds okay. Tell me if everything sounds good. Hopefully it's all good to go. Okay, so here is what we're going to do. Let me get this going. We are going to do questions. I'm going to talk about this, but you guys can ask me whatever you want. Ask me whatever you want, but definitely know that we are going to do live Q&A today for sure. And as I always let you know, I'm using StreamYard, and we are streaming in StreamYard, and I'm going to show you what this looks like, and I'm going to let you hear what it looks like, because this is the big news right now. I need to do an application. Did you guys notice in my view that I switched some things up? Do you see this? My monitor is vertical. I've seen people do that before, but I've personally never done it. At first, I did this for a couple reasons. So last week, I was the co-host of StreamYard's virtual summit. And I don't have a teleprompter, but we use they're not really, I wouldn't call them scripts. I mean, they are scripts, but I don't really read the script word for word. I do parts of it, but for the most part, I don't. So I don't have a teleprompter, don't need a teleprompter, but I need to have this run of show document up all the time. So I tried this new setting so that I could kind of I was going to have it over here anyway. I didn't end up loving it, so I ended up just keeping the Google Doc right underneath my camera anyway. But here's what's crazy. I was like, well, maybe I'll just try this for a while. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm still not totally sure if I like it. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why I'm taking longer to do things, because when I share my screen now, I have to share the application. Because if I share my screen, it will literally show you my monitor vertical on the screen. So actually, let me show you what that would look like. So share screen, we'll share the whole thing. And here it is. That's not very effective. You can barely see what I'm trying to show you. If I go to this view, it's a little interesting, but it's tiny, right? So I'm going to stop that. And instead, I'm just going to share the window, the Chrome window with StreamYard open. So there we go. So if I resize this window, it's actually going to change it for you too. Oops. Let me go back. There we go. All right. So let's go into our studio here. Be back to ATEM view. And as you'll notice, is out to the right now, when you go to your brand section, okay, you also, two things, you can actually collapse these sections now. So if you don't want, like, if you're never going to change your theme, then you don't need to worry about it, right? Like if you're good to go, locked in, then just minimize that. That's kind of nice. If you're not going to change your brand color, minimize that. If you are locked in on your logo and you don't need to turn it on or turn it off, minimize that. And now it's a little bit cleaner in here. So now you just have your overlays that you're going to select through, your video clips. If you're not going to play video clips, then you can, minimize that, right? I have my background minimized because I don't typically change my background in the middle of my video. Oh, but what do we have here? What is that? Look at that. Yeah, you have 8 songs, 8 different songs to choose from. And you can change the volume right here. So 100 is going to be max volume. If you want it to be more background music, then you can lower that volume down. This is something I suggest you try out in practice and play around with. And then you have the option to loop the song, or it'll just play the song and end. I don't know how long each of these tracks are, but looping would be what you'd want to do if you were doing background music. So that is literally how this works. So let me go ahead and go back over to this stream, and I will be playing some of these songs so that you guys can hear this. Okay, am I copying Luria? What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, because the monitor. Oh, no. Heck no. Did you see Luria Petrucci? She's got like 9 monitors now. It's nuts. I don't even know if that's the right one, but I'm not sure. Billy, I'm super excited to hear that your first live stream went great with your new microphone and your face cam. That's exciting. Super exciting. Okay. Rahman is here. Hello, Rahman. Good to see ya. I see Laura Williams is here as well. Let's see. I'm going to pin a couple questions that I see. CK says, I like the vertical monitor, really like Samsung's 55-inch curved monitor that can go from landscape to portrait with a simple turn of the monitor. Nice. They debuted that. So yeah, actually what's really cool is if you wanted to turn your monitor to the side, then you actually, if you're in Windows, I don't know about Macs, maybe James can chime in on the Macs, but if you're on a Windows machine, you just turn it, but then you just go to your display settings, and then you can actually just set that to be, to literally say, no, I want to use this as a sideways monitor. So it's pretty cool. Okay, let me get into this music here. Doug says he likes the folders. That's good. Eduardo wants me to play some rock. Okay, let's play some rock first. I'm not a huge fan of the rock song, but let's go for it. So I'm going to turn this volume up. The volume is at 50% right now. That's what we're going to have it. I'm going to go ahead and play it so you guys can see or hear, I guess would be the right word for that. I need to make sure I have do you guys hear that? Do you hear music? Oh. Do you hear music? Okay, I got a couple different things. I got a setting that I might need to change. Do you hear the music? I'm curious if you hear the music, and here's why. I hear music. Okay, so CK says music. Well, here's why I was wondering. So let me share my screen again. So the reason I was wondering is because I'm using, stop. that because I'm using, as many of you know, the Wavelink app, right? So the Wavelink application right here. So if you look, browser's down. See how browser's down? So I don't hear it. I do not hear music. So let me pull this up. Now I hear the music. But I was curious if you all heard the music. But that, okay, so it does work. It's all native in StreamYard. All right, so let's go back to this. So that's the rock song. Electric guitar. I hear music and the voices in my head are singing along. Yeah. So none of this music that is in... Let me fade this down just a little. None of the music that's in StreamYard has any lyrics. It's all instrumental music only. So this is the rock one. Dance pop is pretty good. I like dance pop. Let me turn it up. I'm going to turn it all the way up. Okay, so it's turned down. Okay, so this is inside StreamYard. All users have this now. So if you want, this is all royalty-free, copyright-free music. You do not have to have any, you shouldn't have any copyright infringements to use this music. They have selected it specifically for that, okay? Specifically for that. So I love this option, but I don't necessarily want all streamers using StreamYard to just all of a sudden start playing background music in all their streams, which is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So we're gonna kind of just go through this. Now I just showed you how it works inside the inside of it, right? Inside StreamYard. So you now see how it works. But I want to talk to you about this because there are some things I want you to think about, right? I wanted you to think about it. So what's up, Unseen Universe? Catching us from the UK. We got a few people watching from the UK today. Thank you so much for the kudos. Glad that you were here. It's exciting to see you. Okay, so here's the deal. There's a few things I just wanted you all to think about, and then we'll get to some just open Q&A. So let me put that banner back up so that everybody knows what we are going to be doing today. So here's the deal. There's a couple things you got to think about. The first thing that's really important is you have to make sure, regardless of playing this music natively inside StreamYard or something else like what I play, you have to make sure you have the right license and usage rights. Is that spelled right? Do I have a typo in there? You have to make sure. This is the number one mistake people make when they start playing music or introducing music to their live videos, is that they start playing songs and they don't have the rights to play the songs, or they haven't selected songs that are protected from issues. Now, you're not 100% going to be protected at all times because there are scammers out there. Now, it's getting better. It's getting more regulated so that these scammers aren't quite the issue, quite as much of the issue as they were. So that's something to think about. So literally, you have to make sure you're playing the right kind of tracks. Now, John Pullum, I know that you have a particular music subscription that you use for your songs and for your videos that you create. Personally, I use Epidemic Sound. It is absolutely, that's the stuff you guys hear me play during my countdown. So that is 100%. I pay for that subscription. I have the right license for it. Therefore, I'm able to, play it with confidence that I'm not going to get any issues from from somebody or the service saying no. I pay for it, and that is why I pay for it, because I don't want to deal with that. However, there are other options out there for you. Now, you have to be careful with what you choose, because some people will say, like, I've heard these stories about something's in the YouTube library, right? Well, if you're multi-streaming and you're streaming to Facebook, guess where that music can't be used? Over on Facebook. So you have to definitely make sure that you are thinking about this broadly, right? So let me just pull this up really quick. So you can pay for a service, or you can use a free service. Now, free services, the one that I always recommend, my boyfriend, not really my boyfriend, just I think he's like so awesome and adorable, and I always joke that I have a big crush on him, is Harris Heller, Streambeats. So if you check out Streambeats, it's free. In fact, Harris he's on this huge mission about providing, music assets for people to use in their streams. And he wants you to have this experience. So you definitely want to try it out. Harris Heller's Streambeats are available on Apple Music, Spotify, and now Amazon Music, I believe. And then, of course, you can also find some of that stuff. You can find some of the songs and things on YouTube. And you can 100% play his stuff without any issues. This song right here, that's just a nice ambient sound, right? Little ambient music. Nothing to it. Pretty simple. That is copyright-free music provided by Harris Heller. So definitely check out Harris Heller. You definitely have to be careful about the right license for sure. And that is the thing why I say license and copyright. You want to make sure you've got the right license, the right copyright for sure. Discover Your Kingdom with Erica James says, so true, because I use a song from Envato, and although it's copyright free, it can't be used in live streams and broadcasts. That's right. So you got to read the fine print. So when you're pulling up, finding something, a song, and you buy the license for it on Envato, for example, which is a marketplace for creative assets, you need to make sure that license is released for what you're going to use it for. So sometimes it will say, you can use this in your podcast, but it's not approved for, like she said, live streaming or videos. Some stuff will say it's approved for videos, but it's not approved for podcasts. So you definitely want to read the fine print on those licenses and the copyrights. So for sure, be careful about that. Check that out. Excuse me. So this is a great point. We are definitely going to be chatting about this. Doug says, background music would be horribly distracting on my show. There are times when background music is good, and there are times when background music is maybe not so good. And so that's, again, what I wanted to talk to y'all about today. But I wanted to talk about the options that you have. Now, again, these songs that StreamYard has provided inside of StreamYard are good to go. You're good to use these on the platforms that they stream to. And that's why they've put them in there. Now, the question has come up a couple times, and Unseen Universe wants, oops, that's not what I wanted to pull up. I wanted to pull up this one. Eduardo says, when will StreamYard allow users to upload our own background music? I don't know the answer to that. I do know that when Dan has been asked this question, he has essentially said, not yet. And so I think that what I love about StreamYard is they release things, they add things, they enhance the tool, but they don't overdo it all at once. They like to slowly introduce things to us so that the users don't get overwhelmed. And I actually support this 100%. And so I think what Dan wants to do is they want people to be using this. They also want to perfect the functionality. For example, right now, the fader that you saw, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Sorry. Let me pull something up really fast. And then I'm going to go back and share my screen here. We are going to share the window. This is the only thing I don't love about using this vertical monitor. If you're just now joining, I was showing that my monitor is now vertical. I can't just quickly share the whole monitor. I have to share the applications one by one. And a lot of times I will toggle between apps. So you know what this means? This means I'm probably just going to need to get a third monitor. It's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to have to geek out on a third monitor. So we'll see. Okay, so let me show you this really quick. So as I mentioned earlier, sorry, one momento. One momento, please. There it is. Okay, so I'm actually going to copy link, put this in the comments. If you're watching over on YouTube, you will get this link. That is my referral link for Epidemic Sound. So you can go check that out if you want to look at the Epidemic Sound account. So what's cool about Epidemic Sound is it literally is a huge library full of, oops, there we go. So many things. So you can create playlists, which are really fun, and you can share a playlist. So for example, if you all wanted to look at my list, and I could actually share it. So I can literally copy a link to this list and send it to you. In fact, I think CK, I sent you a link to this list once. So you can actually collaborate with people. So you can actually create collaborative lists. It's actually really, really cool. So I like this because it's a little bit more than just a library of music. It's got sound effects. It's got all kinds of stuff. This sound effect, let's see, the snap one that y'all like, that came from Epidemic Sound right there. So anyways, that's what you want to look at. And as John Poland mentioned, you definitely want to make sure you read about your licenses. Make sure you get the right one because there are different ones that you can get. And there's different pricing for different ones, okay? If you're creating content for others, you're definitely going to need the commercial license, 100%. Okay. So definitely check that out. Make sure you know what you need, get the right license. Now, again, as I mentioned, one of the reasons why they don't just open up all these features, everybody, and allowing us to upload our own music, for example, is that they need to let people use it so they can test it and get feedback. One of the things that I've already provided feedback on is that this fader doesn't actually fade. What it does is as you hold your mouse button down and you drag it, all it does is it essentially will, like, if I'm on 75% or 76% and then I drag it over, it doesn't fade down as I drag it. It actually just, once I deselect my mouse button, then it just changes, that goes from 76 to 15, just like that. So one of the things that we've already provided is we want the ability to fade in and fade out. And so the only way you can do that now is like mouse click, mouse click, mouse click, drag, mouse click, drag, mouse click, drag. And that's really choppy, right? So we don't want that. So that's just an example of why they don't just automatically do that. So if you're just joining, I'm basically letting everybody know that StreamYard now has background music natively inside StreamYard, and you can play the songs. Let's play, we will play lo-fi this time. There you go. That's at 81%. The lo-fi music, right? And that would be this song right here. So if I'm dragging, you should all hear it kind of choppily. I'm kind of dragging and letting go, dragging and letting go, dragging and letting go. So now we've got the music down. You might hear it, you might not. Let me take a sip of water as I drip and leak all over the place. Okay, so again, music inside, right? We've got music inside. James says, here's a Stream Beats life hack to think about. For you Stream Deck owners, you can use the Spotify plugin and trigger music from there too. Yes. The other thing you can also do, if you have a Stream Deck and you're able to push that audio out to your stream, you can also download the audio files. So Harris Heller lets you download some of his audio files, and you can 100% do that as well. Mike from Never Let the Machines Win is saying, Stream Beats is as safe as you can get. Lots of variety and free. Yeah. Dr. Elo is here. What's up, dude? It's good to see you, my friend, hanging out with us. Okay. Oh, we got Olu the Bademart Designs. Okay. You changed your name, right? Bademart. I think you changed your name a little bit there. Okay. Let me see here. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, let me check. Oh, Ryan, I see your comment. I see your question. We're going to talk about that. Did you already buy? I hope you didn't already buy. Let's chat about that for a sec. Okay, so in here you have this stuff. You're going to want to check the audio and all the things. But let's get back to the main point of this. Should you even do this? Here's what I'm going to tell you. You can hear the music right now, probably barely. I think that if you're going to play background music, it fits in certain types of streams. Like Doug said earlier from SmackDown Outdoors, I do not think you should play background music if you're doing an interview. And Doug's show is a lot of interviews. The other thing is that if you're repurposing your live stream in any way, shape, or form, and you're going to use that audio in a podcast, I probably wouldn't play background music either there. And that is because that's just not the typical learning experience that a podcast listener wants. They typically want clean, they want pattern interrupts. So you can play like little musical, things here and there as you kind of go through your show. But for the most part, people just want to hear voices on a podcast. And so that's why they're listening to a podcast and not talk radio, or the radio in general. And so if you're repurposing content, you probably don't want to be worrying about background music either. Let me go ahead and turn this off. As I said, interviews. If you're interviewing anybody, you don't want to use background music. If you plan to take a live stream and take that entire video and edit it, meaning like cut out some of the engagement you might do. Maybe you want to repurpose it into a shorter video that you upload later that is like a tutorial style. Well, if you're playing background music during that live stream and you're snipping parts out, you're also snipping parts of the music. And so your music is not going to have a nice little flow to it. And so that's another reason why you would not want to use background music when you're streaming. Now, times that I like this feature, for all of you that want to play music during your opening, let's just say that you want to open up with an overlay like I typically do and recommend, and you want to display an overlay like right now. This is the thumbnail graphic that I have uploaded in. You could literally pull this up, click go live, and you could start playing music. Pull up some banners like this. So there you go. Like that's one awesome way to play some background music. Maybe you need to say be right back and you have a be right back screen. Pull that be right back overlay up and turn on some music for your listeners. This is a great use for this native background music inside StreamYard. So be thinking about that. Like, I love it. You can, instead of just being like, I'll be right back and pulling up your be right back screen and then leaving and it's just silent, play a little music. That lets people who are arriving kind of be like, oh, cool. Okay, cool. This is nice. I can jive. I can jive to this. Jive to this. I can vibe to this is really what I meant. So I love this music that's here for us. And you can also do it the same thing when you're done with your stream. Maybe you have a thank you for watching a screen that you pull up that's just a static screen. Well, pop that up and play a little music as you finish your stream. And you can do that right inside StreamYard now. Now, maybe one day we'll be able to upload our own tracks. But again, you would need to make sure that you have the right usage and to use that track. And so as I think it was Robin earlier that said, or Erica James, I think that said she has a song she bought on Envato, but then she found out it's not approved to be used in videos. So make sure if you are going to do something like that in the future, when they release that feature, that you're going to want to be able to have the right rights. That's the number one thing that you have to make sure that you understand for sure. Carl's here. Hello, Carl. The finger is healing, but we got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. A fingertip breakage is not good. Okay, so John says, I never use background music with vocals for live streams or recorded. I don't want my viewers trying to focus on the words in the song and what I'm saying at the same time. This is a really great point. I really, really, really love this because John is right. So if we go back to me and my lists, we go back here, you will see that I have the countdown. I have different songs, different things for different purposes. But Mel's list is typically the one I play for all of you when I stream and I do the countdown in the beginning. So
tonight I'll reach out and touch the sky.
Right? There we go. These all have vocals. But when I am just playing music and I'm streaming, I actually will play mostly instrumental. So you notice here, a lot of these are instrumental. And John is right, because sometimes when you are talking and there's somebody singing vocals in the background, it can be a little bit disruptive and it can be it could just be a bit much, right, for your audience, because unless it's really faint, and if it's really faint, they're going to be like, is that somebody singing? Like, you just want something to be, it's background music, right? It's meant to be background music on purpose. And so that's definitely one of those things that's really important. If you watch movies or shows, whenever they play music in the background, it's not typically lyrical music. Now, they will play lyrical music, but not typically during those effect moments, like the suspense moments. And if you're listening to actors talk on screen, the music that's being played is likely cinematic or instrumental only. And that is for that reason. So John's making a really great point, and it's another thing you have to think about when you're thinking about music in your streams. Let's see here. So definitely going to pop in and grab some questions here in a second. John says, they need toilet flushing, sneezing, coughing, and farting sounds effects for the Be Right Back screen. You could totally make your own little Be Right Back screen, John, with all those things in it. Okay, so let's see. I'm just laughing at you guys in your comments. This is great. So the other thing that's really important, if you are going to play music, this is the other critical piece. The other critical piece, if you're going to play music or any audio whatsoever in your stream, are headphones. You have to wear headphones, because now you don't have to wear headphones, but it is highly recommended that you wear headphones. And I will show you why once again. So in StreamYard, in many of the streaming applications have this now, but they actually have echo cancellation built right in. And so when you're down here and you go to your audio, you can go to your audio settings right here, audio, and then you have your microphone that you can select. And then you can select echo cancellation. If you select echo cancellation, what is going to happen is the music that's being played out of your speakers, it's going to use technology, artificial intelligence, to try not to pick up that audio coming out of your speakers into the mic, which causes echo. Now, the only issue is when you have echo cancellation on, it can diminish the quality of your audio in general. It can also create what's called ducking. So if you're ever like on a Zoom call, like Zoom has great echo cancellation, but at the same time, if you're talking at the same time as somebody else, it basically mutes the other person. So you literally can't even hear what they said. Your audience can't hear what they said. Anybody else in the meeting with you, it's like, oh wait, sorry, you say that again because you basically went muted. That's called ducking. Ducking can happen when you are using echo cancellation. So again, it's there, but it's not necessarily recommended. This is, of course, always the case when you have a guest on your stream as well. Now, inside StreamYard, stereo audio, if you're going to be playing music especially, you're going to want to use stereo audio. I mean, it's really the best way to create the best experience for your audience. If you turn echo cancellation on because you're not wearing headphones, guess what? You lose stereo audio. So you're not able to actually use that feature. So if you want stereo audio, you have to make sure stereo audio is checked. And that means echo cancellation has to be off. So that's the other really important reason why you want to have headphones. Now, with that being said, what kind of headphones do you wear? Wear whatever headphones you want, right? I like these. These are made by Me Audio. They kind of go right behind my ears here. I got a thing I can adjust it, and they just go right there, and they're nice and comfortable. I can put it in my shirt if I wanted to. And then an extension cable is also going to be necessary so that you can plug it in where it's going into my Focusrite way over here, and it's far away. When I just have it plugged into the back of my Wave 3 microphone, when I use that mic, I don't even use the extension cord. So Me Audio, they're really cheap. I just looked. They are literally like $15 right now on Amazon. So there's my Amazon affiliate link. If anybody wants to go grab a pair of those or two pair, they are $15. That's it. They come with little adjustable things for your ears right here. So these are all different sizes. They come in different shapes and sizes. There's like 8 of them in there. So they're really, really comfortable. They're great. And Billy has a pair. Yeah, a lot of you guys have these. I know Doug from SmackDown Outdoors has these. A lot of people have these headphones. They're really, really popular. But they're like $15 right now on Amazon. I just looked earlier. So that's the other critical piece. If you're going to play music or anything at all, you have to wear headphones. And again, grab a pair of these. It's just honestly, if you're going to ever have guests in your streams, you're going to want to wear headphones. Now, some people like these because they're low profile. Some people just wear the big old headphones. Totally fine. I've done that plenty of times. When I first started playing background music in my streams, I just wore some like $30 Sony headphones. They're just fine. And they're there, right? But some people like that look. Some people don't like that look. So go decide what you want and you can figure it out. Tom from Alaska says, thank you for emphasizing that earbuds/headphones result in better audio quality in a broadcast. Too often people prioritize looks over quality, which is why I always like to offer these, Tom, because a lot of people they don't want to see the cable running down in front of them, or they don't want people to see the headphones on them, or they're worried about their hair. These are super non-invasive. They are low profile. You can't even see them. Most people don't even realize I'm wearing them until I talk about them. So for sure. Doug prefers not to see the headphones. And he said headphones get hot. That's funny. Yeah, okay, interesting. The guy who is ice fishing says he's worried about getting hot. That's funny. CK says, I want to like them, but I must have weird ears because I can never get them to stay in, and they bother me after about 20 minutes. Maybe just try the different ones. CK, when you bought them, did they come with all the different inserts? And that's the thing. If they don't, sometimes they don't fit. Sometimes headphones don't fit very well. The old earbuds that came with our Apple phones, they were the most painful things in my ears. They were super uncomfortable for me. So definitely didn't love those. Robin said, I would be forever forgetting that I'm wearing headphones and go grab more craft crap and yank everything out of whack. I have done that. I've definitely done that before. for sure. Okay, let's get to some questions. I wanted to talk about that. Now, I will tell you that let's talk about when background music is appropriate. I already gave you some of those examples of, hey, when you're maybe getting your stream started and you're not really into the stream just yet. You have a countdown going, maybe you're using OBS like I am and you're doing, one of these countdowns like that and you want to play some music during the countdown. Totally reasonable, right? Or I showed you how you can pull up an overlay and play some of that music. I like using background music when I'm doing Q&A, when I'm looking for, because if you guys have been following me for a long time, you notice that sometimes what I do when I'm looking for comments and more questions is I'll kind of start humming or I'll start making noise. I find that like silence, just sitting here in silence, like reading comments, it just makes me feel awkward. It makes me feel rushed. But if I'm playing some background music lightly, it makes me feel better about just sitting in quiet because my stream's not quiet. I'm quiet, but my stream's not quiet. The other time I really like using background music is when I'm doing any kind of tutorial, or sometimes I'll do these little, I call them like live hangout sessions where I'll be like, hey, come hang out with me, listen to some music while I work on some graphics for my live streams in Canva, or come hang out with me while I try to figure this out, something. Whenever I do that, I will typically play music in the background while I'm doing it because I'm really just kind of hanging out. I'm really working. So I'm probably sharing my screen and I'm working on something in Canva, but I'm not talking the whole time. And so I like to play music when I do that. And that's when it's appropriate because I'm not talking the whole time. You're just kind of watching me work on some stuff and I'm going to talk here and there. I'm going to see your comments and answer some questions. But for the most part, I'm working on something. So there's a lot of time when I'm not talking. And so in that case, I like to have music playing for everybody. So those are some times. So Robin, with Robin's Egg Blue Creations. And we have a lot of crafters and a lot of creative people that watch this show. If you are like crafting, painting, designing, working on something, background music is definitely something you might want to consider because it's the same kind of thing as like when I have Canva up and I'm like working on some Canva graphics, right? That's like my version of creating and crafting and doing stuff. And so I love when anybody who's doing a live stream and they're showing how to do something and they're just kind of working on things. I love background music in those. Annette with Purple Paisley Planner, when you do your happy mail, happy mail, not happy meal, happy mail, when she does her happy mail, which she kind of like does this like unboxing basically. She opens this stuff up and she goes through these different supplies and these different things that have been sent to her or that she's bought. She could play background music because she's focused on opening something. She's not gonna be like, I am using the letter opener to open the envelope, and like she's not going to give us the complete play-by-play. Now, when she opens it up and pulls something out, she's going to be talking about it, right? But I like background music for something like that too. Smackdown Outdoors, Doug does a lot of interviews, right? Probably, again, not going to be playing any music during the interviews. However, if Doug were to do a stream where he's going to show us how to do something, like he's going to say, all right, we're going to get some lures ready today. We're going to get our tackle box set up. We're going out fishing tomorrow. We're going to fish for big bass, and we're going in a lake. So I got to get all my stuff ready to go for that kind of water. Right? Just giving an example. He could literally just be like, come hang out with me while I get my stuff ready. And he could have like a camera, kind of a big wide angle camera down on him. And he could be talking a little bit, but he could be playing music while he's just getting his stuff ready. And so anybody can probably find an example of when they're working on something or doing something and you're just inviting your community a little bit behind the scenes to hang out with you. And that's how I want you to think about it, is it's okay to play that background music when you're inviting your users or your audience to just kind of come hang out with you while you do something, right? And so definitely one of those times when I would recommend definitely, using this feature, this background music feature. Now it's native inside StreamYard. You could of course use you can buy audio mixers. You can use virtual audio mixers like Loopback, Voice Meter. I use the Wavelink application, as I've shown many, many times. That is my virtual audio mixer. It definitely is a buggy application. I don't know if it's buggy with Windows or if it's buggy in general, but it is buggy. And so I've had some issues with it. So it's not perfect, but it's great. I love it. You can get it for free when you buy the Elgato Wave XLR, which is an interface for an XLR microphone like this Shure MP7, or if you buy like an Elgato 1 or an Elgato Wave 1 or an Elgato Wave 3, it comes for free. Now, Rode also has Rode Connect, which is essentially the competitive companion application that will come with the Rode's USB microphone. So you're starting to see more of these options for being able to stream music and stream sounds. But if you're using StreamYard, right now you have 8 songs to choose from. And eventually, hopefully, you're going to have more songs to choose from so that you can upload your own tracks, right? But of course, you got to have the rights to it. We're going to get through this stream. I almost lost my voice last week. Literally, like the morning of the StreamYard Summit, I was like, okay, we've got to protect this voice. And on Friday, I barely had a voice. So it's still not fully back, but it's coming back. Doug says, I plan to use it for hangout sessions. That's awesome. Perfect. But again, Doug doesn't use it for his interviews, and I think that's super smart. CK says, I might use that when I start setting up my studio. I close on my home the 4th of March, so we'll be sketching out different layouts. It's very exciting. I saw your Instagram story, CK, of your storage situation, and you had your storage stuff out. So I'm really excited. I think that's another great example of when you might want to play music would be like, again, when you're just working on something and you're just inviting everybody in. What's really cool is the background music is available to you when you are using the phone. So StreamYard you can use on a mobile device. You just go to StreamYard.com on the internet browser, and it literally works almost 90% the exact same way as it does on a computer. And background music is an option. So CK, you could actually totally go live with StreamYard right there because your other stuff's not set up, right? And you'd be like, hang out with me while I figure this out. And you could actually play background music right there from inside of the studio on your phone. So you can actually use it on your phone too, which is super cool. Okay. See you, Carl. Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay. So let's get to some questions, shall we? I saw some comments and I saw some questions for me. Let me see. Okay. Okay, cool. Oh, well, Carl, if you're still here, let me get to your question real fast. Hopefully Carl's still here. Maybe he left. He said, I bought the Elgato Wave 1. I love the mic, but the software was a little disappointing. I can't adjust the gain nor adjust the bass or treble. Okay, so gain, you can adjust the gain. So Carl, if you're still here, now the Wave 1 and Wave 3 are a little different in regards to the settings. However, inside of your app, let me share my screen again. I gotta share the application though, so hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not gonna work for me. I'm gonna have to go to another monitor. Share screen, window. Here we go. So for Carl, inside the app right here. So I'm using my Shure microphone. That's what you hear right now. I love this microphone. But the Wave, if you go here, if you have it in there set up as an input, when you click that little drop down, that's actually where you can adjust your gain right there. Okay. Now you can't adjust your treble right in here, but you can do an enhanced low cut filter. And then your wave gain lock, also clip guard is an awesome feature of the Elgato microphones that basically is going to allow you to get loud and it's not going to clip. Like if I were to get loud with this microphone, it's going to create a clipping. You can also change the, that one does. The Wave 1, I can't remember if it has a headphone jack or not, but you want to click on that little drop down. So this little arrow right here, Carl, is what you want to click. The other thing, let me get out of there, is that Wavelink now supports what's called VSTs. I don't have any VSTs. That's way too techy. From an audio standpoint, I do not have any experience with VSTs. But if you download a VST plugin, that is going to let you adjust your gain or your treble and your bass. So you can definitely dial in your microphone even further if you download a VST plugin. Go check out Coffee Talk and Tech on YouTube. That is our friend John Ryan. He has a whole video on these VSTs for this Wavelink application. So go check out Coffee Talk and Tech. Let him know I sent you. And then literally he probably will be able to show you exactly how to use this. He's got a video about this. So check that out for sure. Hopefully Carl was still here. to see that. I don't see any more comments from him, but maybe we'll see it. So, well, hello, Jeff Watson. First time I've been able to join live. Well, we got something special for you, Mr. Jeff Watson. There you go. So that's how we welcome people when they either subscribe or they get to join live for the first time and they let us know. So for sure. Okay. Sweet. Thank you, John, for tagging Carl. Hopefully he saw the answer for that. And if not, he can go watch that replay real quick. Cynthia's here. She is listening in the car. She is multitasking. Cynthia, hopefully you are driving safely or riding safely. We are talking about using music in our streams. So StreamYard now has background music natively inside the application. And you'll have to catch the replay, Cynthia. I was talking about the times when it's appropriate to play background music and times when maybe you wouldn't want to play background music. So Cynthia, her show, there's definitely some videos that she does where she would 100% not want to play background music. And that is because she uses these radios, and a big part of her stream is listening to what the radios are saying, right? And so obviously she's not going to be playing music when you're trying to listen to these radios, right? So, but there might be some times when it would make sense for Cynthia to use the background music feature for sure. Let's see. Okay, Jeff, you'll have to keep hanging out with us because I definitely talk about a lot of the ways my setup and everything on these shows. I'm actually getting ready to do another, I'm getting ready to change some things up. We're getting ready to change up this studio a little bit. So when I do, I'll be doing another walkthrough about all the gear and everything. So Cynthia's not driving, thank goodness. I just started thinking about well, she's typing, so surely she's not driving. So hopefully not, right? Okay, let's see. Zan the Man. Yeah, let me pin your question. I'll get to that question in just a moment. I am going to actually go into Q&A right now. Put a Q in front of those questions for me so that you guys, I can grab those questions easily. So, John, you asked a question in the beginning. Can you put 2 windows on top of the monitor with it that way? So, yes. So what John's referring to is, so I have one of my monitors I have turned vertical. And so that's what we got going on. Now, I can... as you can see here, I can move and resize my browser windows and my applications however I want. But when you say, can you put 2 windows on top of the monitor with it that way? Can you put 2 windows on top of the monitor? Yeah, it literally, well, you can resize it no differently than you can on a regular, if it's landscape. So I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding your question. So John, rephrase your question for me if I totally butchered what you were asking me. Because I definitely want to get you an answer for that. Okay, Billy says, in solo mode, my picture was smaller and I can see the background. How do I make my picture full again? Whoa. I couldn't. My watch keeps trying to talk to me. I don't know what's going on. Billy, that's just an easy setting adjustment. Let me show you real fast. So what Billy's talking about is there is it's called the cropped solo layout in StreamYard. That is a new feature that they just came out with. I really like it. But I do have mixed feelings about it, but I will tell you when I like it and when I don't like it. So let me share my screen. Once again, I'm going to share the StreamYard app. All right, so we're in StreamYard, and Billy, let me do this. Can we, it's just going to center it. Okay. All right, let me remove Billy's comments so you guys can actually see what we're doing here. All right, so in fact, this is a great time when you want to use that other layout or a great example. So let me take off this banner and the ticker. Pop up. Now you can see everything. Okay, so if I go right here to settings, camera and mic setting, or even out to the right where it says settings over here, there. If you go here to layouts, okay, click on layout and check mark crop solo layout. Right now, Billy, yours is checked. So if you don't like that, then you want to crop that. So I will now show you all what this looks like. So you go in here to this stream. And now I'm in the cropped solo layout. And so what that does is it just makes your webcam feed smaller. It doesn't crop you in. It just makes your webcam feed smaller. This is actually really great when you're displaying questions like Billy's, because if you look, this is what it looks like when Billy's question is up right now. My logo is good to go. Everything's protected a little bit more. If I go back to that other layout, now look, Billy's comment comes in, it covers my shirt, It's covering my label on my microphone. If I want all that to be visible, more visible, then I might want to consider that cropped layout because it's actually going to not basically, it's not going to crop over put the display his question over me. Man, we got tickles in the throat. It's annoying. So yeah, Billy, all you do is go into those settings and change your layout and make sure you check it now. As you can see, you can change it midstream. So it will actually change right in the middle of the stream if you want to. Great question though. Let me do a quick check on. Okay, this is funny. Tom is making a great suggestion. He says the crop solo layout should be in the same place with the other layouts so we can easily select it on the fly. I think that, Tom, the reason I believe that Dan did not do that is because he does not want the interface to get too busy. So he didn't want to add another layout to the interface, the studio interface, because he didn't want it to get too busy. I've heard him say that before, but it's not a bad thought. It really isn't a bad suggestion because it is kind of a bit cumbersome to get to it. I think most people aren't going to want to toggle back and forth, but it's a great suggestion. Tom, make sure, go to StreamYard.com/contact. They have a form there that you can fill out, and you can absolutely fill that out and give them that feedback for them for sure. Okay, what's up, Talk with Tori? Well, welcome to the stream. Coming in late, but coming in hot. It's all good. You're here. Okay, let me get back to more questions. If you have questions, pop it in there with a cue. Mike says, is the background audio in the separate audio tracks after you stream? That's a great question. I haven't tested that. I believe, so what Mike is referring to is inside StreamYard, you can also select a setting where if you're doing an interview, which I would recommend, that you record separate audio tracks. So that's it. That way, if your guest comes on and they're like really loud or they're really quiet, you can post-production editing balance the audio out because you have two separate audio files. So if you go into your podcast editing software and you load yours in and it's perfect, and then you load your guest in and they're low, well, you can bump their audio up, right? And so that's why that separate audio tracks is a good setting. I do not know what happens with the background music. That's a great question. My guess is that it is not going to separate it, that it will record the music in the background for both of you. That is a really, really great thought, and another reason why you would not want to play music when you are doing an interview, especially, as I mentioned, if you're repurposing that content into a podcast. Personally, I would not recommend using background music if you're repurposing your live stream into a podcast anyway, no matter what. But that's a great question. I do know this also. The background music will keep playing when you when you play a video file. At least in the headphones, it will still play the background music when you play that video file that has audio. That to me is another thing you have to keep in mind. So you want to turn that off before you play the video because you don't want the background music inhibiting your video that you're playing as well. All right, Ryan was talking about the Shure MV7 last week on our stream, and he said, I have decided to check out the Blue Yeti caster because it's a bundle boom arm, microphone, and shock mount. So, Ryan, I know you mentioned that the Shure MV7 was maybe a bit out of your price range. Again, that MV7 is going to allow you to upgrade to an XLR microphone later. I am currently using this Shure MV7 as an XLR. Out of the box, it is going to plug into your computer and it's going to work as a USB microphone. It does come with a small... No, it comes with this mount right here. So it's ready to mount to a arm. Here's the thing. I do think that the Blue Yeti has a bad reputation. I think that it's an unfair bad reputation. However, if I were recommending that someone purchase a microphone today, I would not recommend the Blue Yeti. I simply wouldn't for a few reasons. One, it's a very large microphone and it's extremely heavy and it doesn't need to be. It is a great microphone and it does sound good. It doesn't sound great. If I were saying to somebody, okay, if you're on a budget, I would not recommend the Blue Yeti. And I would recommend instead either the Rode NT USB microphone, or I would recommend the Elgato Wave 1 or Wave 3 microphone, which I've used in a lot of my streams. In fact, I think I used that in last week's stream. I used the Elgato Wave 3. I do absolutely love the Shure MV7 microphone. I think it's an incredible microphone. It is a little bit pricier, but it is a better microphone. It is a much better microphone. You're going to get a much more pure sound. If you are going to be doing any podcasting, anything at all, you're going to want to spend a little bit more money. Yes, the Blue Yeti comes with the boom arm. I'm actually using the exact boom arm that microphone comes with. I don't love it. I don't love it. It is a very annoying boom arm to use. It's a bit difficult to use. It can be a little bit cumbersome to get adjusted correctly because it uses tension. It's not like spring loaded or anything. It uses tension. You have to tighten the tension. It's a pain in the butt. It is an expensive microphone if you bought it separately, and it is a good deal when you look at the bundle, right? But Ryan, you can also literally buy a boom arm on Amazon for like $25 that is going to be totally fine. It's not going to be perfect, but it's totally going to be fine. So if you're truly on a budget, I would recommend you spend the money on the Elgato Wave 1 or Wave 3, which is going to come with a mic stand. It's going to be short. And then go buy a $20, $30 Amazon boom arm, and you are good to go. For honestly, almost the same price, I think, as that the Blue Yeti with the boom arm that comes with it. So I don't want to tell you what to do, but that's my recommendation. Okay. So Doug is saying, don't get the Yeti. CK says, Yeti was my first mic. Great mic. However, you could get a similar and maybe better mic for the same price. Totally agree. And I have 2 Yetis. They're in the closet. I have 2 of them, right? Matt, hello, Matt. Welcome to the stream. He says, I used the Blue Yeti for an NYS Senate hearing this month. I had COVID and a raspy voice, and it sounded great. I'm telling you, the Blue Yetis are not bad microphones. But if I was buying a new microphone today, that's what I wouldn't get the Yeti, right? I wouldn't get the Yeti. Michael Daniels is here. What is up, Michael, with Tinkering with Tech? He was referring to that crop layout earlier, which is a great suggestion. It should be a double tap on the single layout. That would be perfect. That's a really great idea. I just did it just for fun. It doesn't work. Michael, that's such a good suggestion. I hope that you've provided that to the StreamYard team because that's a really, really good idea. Sorry that I'm clearing my throat in your ears. For sure. Okay, Ryan says, okay, I'll just save up and go for the Shure MV7, which I was going to get that one in the first place. Thanks for the advice. Ryan, like seriously, I think it's an amazing microphone. I really, really do. I think it's worth saving up for sure. I 100% would support that. He says, I just don't know what companies charge silly prices for boom arms. I will tell you right now that you can get some really good boom arms for pretty cheap, but you're right. There are a lot of really expensive ones, but everybody that has the more expensive ones always says it's worth the money. This is the most expensive one I own. Well, no, I take that back because my low profile one from Elgato, I like it, but I don't know. I used a $20 one from Amazon for years and it was completely fine. So, Cynthia says, I use the Samsung G Track Pro and love it. There you go. That's awesome. Talk with Tori. I've been using a Blue Yeti, but I'm going to switch to my Elgato Wave 3. Do you already have it? Because if you do, just plug it in and it is going to be awesome right out of the box. It's going to work great. This one works great out of the box too. Okay, let's get back to questions. I love that we all supported Ryan in that. And just save your money, right? Save up a little bit, go a little extra and get that Shure MV7. Again, it's an awesome microphone out of the box. It's going to be great. Okay, Carl, I already answered that question. Okay, we got another question from Satsiri Winberg. How many seconds delay do you get when streaming to YouTube? And hacks do you have to get lower latency or delay? Okay, so what he's referring to is that when you are in StreamYard or any application, even on your phone, and you click go live, you're not live right in that moment. There is a delay. There's a few seconds delay from it actually going live. And then also the moment you speak and the moment your audience actually hears what you just said, when you physically said it, can be anywhere from like 15 seconds to like 45 seconds. I hear lots of different numbers, but it is a longer delay on Facebook than it is on YouTube. I do know that. So what that means is if you say, all right, anybody have any questions about that? Okay, no questions. No, that was only like 5 seconds. You got to give your audience plenty of time because they don't even hear you ask if they have questions until like 30 seconds after you actually ask. So stronger internet connection, I believe, will contribute to a slower or a lesser delay. But as far as latency, the latency thing is definitely more going to be around your internet connection and your hardware and your computer, how powerful your computer is. So our cheaper computers, like our little Chromebooks and our little like Microsoft Surface ones, like just the lighter computers, you are potentially going to deal with some issues where your video might be slower than your audio, meaning people hear what you say before they see your lips say it. That can happen. There are a lot of factors that can contribute to this. I personally do not find issues when I use StreamYard. I did have issues before when I used other applications. I don't know if they've fixed those issues. But I also know that I used to deal with more latency issues on my older computer. But ever since I got my newer PC, which is about a year ago, and it's just a gaming PC, it's a Dell G5, I haven't had really hardly any latency issues. Also, make sure you're not running any background applications. So make sure your computer is as clean as possible while you're streaming so that you're not running into any kind of like competition of processing. A dedicated graphics card typically will also be a huge help in your latency. If you don't have a dedicated graphics card, again, your computer, the graphics are using the same kind of, they're sharing resources, and the audio tends to come out faster than your video a lot of times. So I don't really have any other hacks than that, but I know Mike from Never Let the Machines Win is here. We've got Michael from Tinkering with Tech is here. We got all kinds of smart people. So if anybody has any other options or any other ideas for Satsiri, then let him know for sure. Zan the Man. I like that. Zan the Man. Is there a way for my audience to hear me speaking while I'm presenting my slides? Well, 100%. So Zan the Man, if you're using StreamYard, okay, when you share, you can share your screen, meaning if you open up your slides on another computer or a monitor, like if you have two monitors, then you can just share that screen, have it in presentation mode, and it's going to display your slides, and it's not going to mute your audio. The other option is that now StreamYard has native slide sharing. So you can actually upload your slides to StreamYard and then they will literally be right inside StreamYard and you can navigate them there. I really love the feature. The downside to that feature is that it has to be a PowerPoint presentation, a Google Slides presentation, or a PDF. So if you're using Keynote or even Canva, you're going to need to export those as either Google Slides or make them PDFs. The other downside is that, or two downsides, is that if you have any animations in your slides, they will not come over. It basically will take your slide and it will freeze it and make it just one static slide. So there's no animations, those don't play. And then lastly, the other downside is if you're using any custom fonts or specialty fonts, right now, some of those fonts aren't pulling through into StreamYard, and so it might mess with your fonts. So that's the only downside to that. But 100%, you should be able to totally present no problem at all, and everyone should still be able to hear you. In fact, that's the same way in Zoom and in many of the other applications that you're using to maybe do presentations, virtual presentations. So if you have another follow-up question to that, let me know. Lawn Bowls live streaming. Love it. Lawn Bowls live streaming. Hello. We live stream sports. We need a working scoreboard. Okay, that is cool. You live stream sports. Are you live streaming live sports? So there's a couple things I've seen people do for this. There are apps. There are actually apps, like web apps that you can find that will create a virtual scoreboard. You could basically duplicate the score of your event in that app. And so what you would do is, let me just see. I'm literally just Googling it right now. Okay. I'm just going to pull this up for just like shits and giggles, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. So I've got this up. I'm going to share my screen. Oops. All right, so I'm going to share this. So this is the virtual scoreboard, okay? So here we are. Maybe this feed were me right here. This is the game. And you'd be like, let's do a quick check of the score. Boom. All right. It is 0-0, right? Whatever, right? So let's just fake that this is the scoreboard. You're just sharing your screen. Now there's apps that you would put on your computer. Now there's also apps that you can download on your phone, and you can use something like Reflector. and actually display your phone on your screen as well. So here's your scoreboard. And then you could even toggle between this view, picture in picture. You can go back to this view, or you can go to this view where the scoreboard's pretty small. Those are your options for layouts, or you can go back to here, right? So I would use something like that. The other thing I've seen people do is that they will actually put a video camera and they will zoom it in onto the scoreboard itself in the actual facility, and they will have that showing and displayed as a separate input. Now, there's multiple options you have if you're going to use multiple cameras. And if you're streaming sports events, you might be already using these. StreamYard did announce last week at the summit that they are absolutely coming out with here within the next 2 weeks, multiple webcam support natively inside StreamYard. So Cynthia, if you're still listening, which I think she is, yeah, she just commented, Cynthia's going to be very excited about this because that is something I know she's tried before, is having multiple webcams. I know a lot of you have tried using multiple webcams, but there's that weird audio issue we run into. They are getting ready to support multiple webcams right inside StreamYard. So you'll be able to actually have 2 webcams and toggle between them, kind of like I'm doing with my video switcher right here. So you'll actually be able to do this natively inside StreamYard, which is super exciting. So definitely something that I know a lot of people have wanted to do for sure. So hopefully that's an idea for you. I definitely want to, I just think it'd be neat. I mean, I love the whole idea of the scoreboard, but find an app, display it on a computer, share that screen, and that's how you get it. That's one way you can do it. Okay, Jeff Watson says, I'm not seeing the same layout settings and options as you on my StreamYard account. Is there another plan I should have? I currently am on the professional plan. Well, Jeff, I'm using the professional plan too. So do me a favor, tell me what was different. What was unique about it? What was different about my layout? Because my layout should be the same as yours. However, let me go back into StreamYard. I will say they did just come out with a new, there is a new setting inside your layout. Let me show it. So if you go over to brand, you can now minimize these brand sections. So these can be minimized. I suspect that eventually we may be able to rearrange these. I don't know, but I suspect. So I can actually minimize all these. And maybe that's what you were referring to. Or you were looking at where I had the background music. That's all the way at the bottom. So let me know specifically what's different for you, and I'd be happy to help you. But you're seeing the professional plan here as well. So definitely the same thing. Let me get back to our comments because I just got through the questions. Okay, Jennifer Tislerks is here. Yes, you'll have to watch the replay, Jennifer. We talked about background music and all the scenarios about, well, not all of them, but many scenarios when you would not want to use background music, but also plenty of scenarios when you would, for sure. Okay, let me check in. Okay, Talk with Tori does make a good point. He says, don't get the cheap boom arm with the springs. It's too noisy. Okay, I had a cheap boom arm with springs, and it's noisy when you move it, but if you're not going to move it, it was okay for me. A hack on that. So sometimes the springs, the vibration can kind of carry through the mic boom arm and it can affect the audio. However, a hack is that you can actually wrap the boom arm with just some soft fabric and it will actually take a lot of that vibration away. So that's a little hack. Again, if you're going for the $20 boom arm, I 100% thought that my little cheapie was totally fine. It's definitely one of those that's just kind of the thing, right? Tom from Alaska is recommending the Rode PSA 1 Plus. The 1 Plus is better than the more popular PSA 1. The 1 Plus looks better on camera and won't pinch your fingers. I know that Rode PSA boom arm is like super popular and everybody loves it, for sure. Okay. Oh, great suggestion. So for Satsiri, which I hope I'm saying that right, Ryan is suggesting do a speed test, which is a really great idea. He says, I always do a speed test and always go through my YouTube live settings first and delete old stream keys and choose the right latency. Okay, yeah, that's actually a little bit more custom. So you can actually make some adjustments. You might be, Ryan, you might be using OBS or something like that. You can make modifications that way. Personally, I have not had a lot of issues with my StreamYard with latency. So for sure. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments. Oh, great call. So Doug from SmackDown Outdoors had another suggestion, is that you can use banners for scores too. Totally agree. And I actually like that. You can also create tickers on the fly, all kinds of stuff right inside. So you can literally, people I think oftentimes think that you have to set yourself up before you go live. You can create banners and tickers on the fly inside your StreamYard account for sure. Johnny Bean is here. Johnny, it's been a while. Good to see you, my friend, live in the comments. Okay, let's see. Okay, Zan the Man. I'm talking about filling my entire screen with my slides without me appearing on the slide, whereby I can talk or narrate off screen. Yes. So what you would want to do, my friend, is you would want to use, so right here, these layouts at the bottom, okay? When you're sharing your screen and you wanted to just have your slides on screen and it basically, your audio is still on screen, but you would use this layout right here. It's called cinema layout. I don't know. That's just full screen for whatever you're sharing. So if, for example, if I go to cinema layout right now with this screen share, you don't see me, but you still hear me, right? And so this is the cinema layout. So when you're sharing your slides, if you want to be talking behind them in the background with you off screen, then you would want to make sure that once you share those slides, that you would click this button right here. That's what you want to do. And that's the layout option that you need. Now, the other one you might want to consider if you wanted to just have the slides be full screen, but you still on screen, is the picture-in-picture layout, which looks like this. So as you can see, I'm now down in the lower left-hand corner. And so that would allow you to still be in the left-hand corner of your slides. But again, if you have stuff down there, if you don't want to be on screen at all, then you'd want to go to cinema layout. So that's what I recommend. But thank you for clarifying your question. So he was following up with how I answered the other question. So thank you for doing that. Jeff, you don't see the option for crop solo mode. So Jeff, it is in your settings. So I'll show it to you guys once again. I showed it to Billy earlier. Let me show you again where you get to that. So if you go into your StreamYard studio, once you're in the studio, okay, you either are going to go down at the bottom, which I know you can't see on screen, or over here, your settings, and you're going to see this menu. You're going to go down to layouts, and there it is right there. Cropped solo layout. And if that's checked, then it will look like this when you're solo on screen. And if you don't want that, then you just uncheck it. And that's how you change that. So you have to actually go into the studio. So you can't change that setting unless you're in, just go open up a broadcast, like a demo broadcast, and that's how you can change that setting. Or you can change it right before you go live, of course, too. Let's see. Okay. Twinning it life. It's twinning it life. Any advice on love cook with me? Oh, live. I do this too. Whenever I type on my phone, it always wants to say love instead of live. Any advice on live cooking with me, Q&A, live stream setup, tools or strategies to do this? Great to be here. Marissa. Well, hello, Marissa. It's good to see you, of course. Here's what I will tell you. I totally have a dream to create a Cooking with Mel show just for fun. I would say there's a couple things you want to think about. If you're going to be moving around a lot, and the audio is probably going to be your number one concern. And so you are one of those people where I would say you might want to consider using a wireless lavalier mic, because you're going to be moving around and your camera's probably going to be kind of far away from you. And where will the mic go, right? And have a really good audio your experience. You're likely not going to be able to have a big microphone because you're cooking right here. Why am I still on that screen? There we go. You're literally cooking. And so you can't really have a microphone. You probably don't want to have a big boom microphone either. Now there's a couple of types of mics. You could get a shotgun mic. But if you're just kind of getting started at this, you might want to consider, this is one of the only times I would consider telling somebody, if you are on a super low budget and you already have a set of wireless AirPods, use those and use your phone as your streaming device. But if you don't, and if you're you have a budget set aside and you want to buy some stuff, then you can use there's the Rode Wireless Go. DJI now has some wireless mics. I have these that I still have never used ever. But these are Cinco is another company. They came out with these, it's just a little clip-on mic. So that clips like right here, and it's kind of ugly, but it works, right? It does have a lavalier as well. But that kind of system is what you would want to get, where you would clip this thing onto your belt and have your lavalier mic and have it wirelessly, via Bluetooth, connected to your computer. And then you can move around and your audio is going to come with you, right? So as you move around and do things. The other thing I would like you to consider is having a couple of webcams. So a webcam maybe that's top down or a different angle, like below, like at your hands. And then another camera that is you right here. I need to find their channel. There's a couple of guys that are friends of the show. They used to come hang out with us in the comments sometimes. They used to be called Kitchen Queers, but they just renamed their channel. Let me look them up. They use 2 webcams. And I like the way they do it. This is what I would recommend you do. So let me see if I can find it. I got to remember going to my subscriptions. They're in there. Let me try to find them really fast. They just changed the name of their channel and I can't remember what it's called. Oh wait. If I go to a different... All right, hold on. I'm going to find this for you because it's a really great example for where you can get some ideas on how to do this. All right, let's see. Let me scroll my long list of subscriptions here and find them. Come on. Show it to me faster. I probably scrolled right past it. Dang it. I don't know what the name of their channel is anymore. That's going to kill me because I was like, oh, go check these guys out. I don't know what they're... Oh, found it. Mitch and Philip. Okay, here we go. Mitch and Philip. Oh, they're still their channel handle is still Kitchen Queers. But they do multiple webcams and I would go check their channel out because like I said, I just really like the way they do it. So for their live streams, they do that. So if you look at some of their past live videos, you'll see how they're using 2 cameras. I love that idea for cooking because you can show a close up of what you're doing, but also you can be addressing the audience at the same time. I would love for this little tickle to go away. How do you make your... John. Okay. Let's see. I love that you guys are so supportive. Somebody made a comment earlier. They're like, why don't you have 50,000 subscribers? People say that all the time, but I will tell you, I'm on my way, friends. Come on. We grew like 90% last year. I went from like 100 subscribers to over 1,000 in a year. And it was an awesome year. I will chalk it up to consistent content for sure. Let's see. Let's see if I have any more questions. Yeah, that's right. So CK has these same ones. I think she bought them after we both saw Kirk Nugent talking about them. But they just announced one specifically for cell phone. That's exciting. That's super cool. Ryan says, I wish StreamYard would delete old StreamYard when finished with live stream or recording. The video library does save your videos in the video library inside StreamYard, but you can delete them. So you don't have to save them. You can delete them. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they start to give us the option to not automatically save them to the video library, especially because the video library has a maximum storage. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes up and happens. John, I'm going to put you in timeout if you don't stop acting up. I'm going to put you in timeout. Tom from Alaska is saying, I recommend the wireless mics for cooking shows. I have Rode Wireless Go 2 and Ceramonic Blink 500B2 and the DJI wireless mic on order. All 3 are recommended. Well, Tom from Alaska has got all kinds of mics. You might have to come on and do a demo for us and show us how those work and let us hear how they all sound. But I definitely think that the wireless mics are going to be great. The only time I would say somebody should use a wireless headset as a microphone is if you literally have no budget to invest in a mic. I do not recommend them because they typically do not sound very good, but it's probably still going to sound better than a microphone really far away from you. And so you just might want to test a few different setups, Twinning It Live, and then you will be able to figure that out for sure. David Ryan is here. He says, hi, all. Well, hello, David. Welcome to the stream. I will say that if you are joining us, you're definitely going to want to catch the replay. We talked about how StreamYard came out with the brand new built-in native background music right inside StreamYard. And so you can play that music during your streams or at the beginning of your streams. But I also talked about some best practices when you might not want to use background music and when maybe it is more appropriate to use background music. And then of course I shared some tips and definitely wanted to make sure everybody knew that. So John says, I'm not acting up. I asked the other question before you answered it. If you answered my last question, I'll go back and answer it. You can, yes, I thought you were just teasing because the question kept coming up. You can switch midstream. So I literally will do it right now. So I will switch full. So crop solo layout is not on. And now crop solo layout is on. So you have to go into your settings and you can check that checkbox while you're live streaming, and it will 100% adjust right there while you're live. Just like that. So there you go, John. I thought you were acting up. I really did. John gets a little ornery. Those of you that don't know John Pullum, he can get pretty ornery if you're not careful. David says, I'm interested in wireless mics too. I'll be making sewing craft videos and I move around a lot. Yeah, exactly. Another great version of why when someone might want to use a wireless mic is if you're doing crafting or anything, if you're moving around a lot and you're not going to be around your microphone and you're going to be doing things like this and you're going to be turning around and grabbing this over here, you do not want that kind of audio experience for your audience, right? That I just gave you. So you 100% need to be like mic'd up, and that mic needs to stay with you as you move around for sure. Okay, 28 Life. Any advice for tools, setup, or strategy for the live Cook With Me Q&A live? Want to start next month. Going to be a first for me. Have me and my twins this doing. Okay, cool. All right. Here's what I recommend. Honestly, you're going to need a laptop so that you can have it right there with you. You might even consider, like, if you want to get really crazy, the perfect setup, in my opinion, would be this. You're in your kitchen, plenty of space. You have a couple of different webcams. You're using, honestly, it just depends on your budget. This really just comes down and depends on your budget. Now I feel like I need to sit down and like write a blog post about this. But if you have a big budget, then you can get 2 DSLR cameras, get a Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is this thing right here, and you can switch between your cameras, right? So I'll go back and show you. Here's one camera and here's the other camera, right? You can even customize some other things with this thing. I haven't even done that yet. But the other option you have is that you can use webcams, okay? So you can plug in webcams and you can use something like OBS and turn on the virtual webcam, which is what I am doing. That's how I'm able to switch from this camera to the ATEM. Think of this as one camera input, but it's got 2 cameras going into the back of it. So that's how I toggle right there. But then my Logitech Brio camera, which is the webcam, USB webcam, that's behind the scenes. I'm switching to all of them in the OBS. So that is really confusing. The way I just described that was ridiculous. Like, that was the worst explanation ever. It just depends on where you are in your skill set. So if I were starting from scratch, if you have a couple webcams that you can use, then I would 100% say, get your laptop, make sure it's a good laptop, and go live with that, so that use your webcams plugged into it so that you can see the questions on your screen. The other option you have is to have your stream open on a tablet, which is what I see a lot of people do, and they read comments there. Because if you're going to do Q&A, if your computer's way over there, then you're not going to be able to see the comments and the questions. So you need a way for you to see those questions and comments so you can answer them. But again, when it comes to your setup and all that stuff, I would recommend that you have a couple cameras if you can, use a laptop, use good audio. The other thing I like for cooking shows is that there might be some things that you don't want to do live, like maybe you need to prep beforehand. Record a separate video of that process if you want to show it, then upload it into the video section of StreamYard. And then when you want to show that demo, instead you could just be like, hey, we prepped the whipped cream earlier, here's how we did it. Then you can we're going to pull whipped cream out of the fridge, but we prepped it earlier. Here's how we did it. Let me play this quick clip for you so you can see how. And then you would literally like play the clip inside your StreamYard. And then people can see how you did it. That way you're not having to do it. They're like, that's actually really smart if you have other processes that you need to do separately. I could probably spend 2 hours on this topic, but I definitely, Twinning It Life, if you're not part of our Facebook community, definitely go join that, because literally those are great questions for that community. And we all jump in there and we will give you all kinds of ideas. It's called DIY Marketing with Melanie. You can search for it on Facebook and it's free to join. And it's just a community of other creators like all of us. And speaking of creating, CK, your shirt, my shirt, I like your shirt. Does it say more than create? Is that a hammer or a cell phone? It is a camera. It's a cell phone. This is actually a shirt that you can get on the Press and Sew website. This is a James Hicks. This is a Hicks New Media shirt, right? That's what this is. So I actually have a call with them later today about my own merch that we're going to be creating. So if you want one of those Team Scrappy t-shirts, they're going to be coming soon. But you can go to Press and Sew. It's PRESS, N, the letter N, and then Sew, SOW. Press and Sew. Ooh, is that right? Yeah, Press and Sew. And that is where you can get this t-shirt if you want one. And I like James's line. He's got good stuff. Let me just pull it up for you guys real quick. There's their awesome website. They are an amazing little company that Andrew and Sylvia own it. They're super awesome, super nice. But you can see all these creators. Sammy Superstar. We got Dr. Elo as well. That's not Dr. Elo. Not Dr. Elo. That is crap. It is Dr. Elo, isn't it? No. Alicio. God, I always get those names confused. Alicio. He's got good stuff too. Actually, I like his. The We Live. And then let's find James. Let's see. James is right here. Hicks New Media. There's Dr. Elo. He's got merch too. If you go here, you'll see he's got some really great stuff. This shirt's on sale right now, focused. But then the one that I'm wearing is this one, Create, right here. That's the one that I bought right there. So Press and Sew, they do a really good job. You can actually go buy. You can go pressandsew.com/Hicks New Media, and there you can get that shirt in black or red or gray. I love it. I personally love this shirt. It's super soft and super duper comfortable too. So, okay. I am going to say that this is a great place for us to stop, right? And we're going to say ta-ta for now. But I will tell you that I'll be live again next week. And I am just so grateful for all of you, those of you that are here week after week with me live and hanging out with us and asking great questions and helping each other out. I also love when you guys chime in the comments today. Tom from Alaska, you were showing up for us today for sure, helping out in the comments, just giving all kinds of advice. So I love that about the community that you can create in your content, where when your community starts helping each other, that's a pretty big deal. So I absolutely love it. I super duper appreciate it. We talked about background music today. So we talked about the background music that StreamYard just released. Go check it out. Everybody has it. So go open your StreamYard account, go create a test live stream and just play. And if you want to learn about creating test live streams, go to StreamYard's YouTube channel. On last Friday, I did an entire live about testing and practicing your live videos. And so I taught everybody how to do that, the best practices for doing it, and so that you can play around with new features. So Twinning It Live, for example, I would recommend that you create a test stream and kind of just play around with your setup, right? That's definitely what you want to do. You always want to be kind of like checking things out. So go to StreamYard's YouTube channel, check that video out, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. But then, if you're here hanging out with us, I definitely want to see you back for next stream, which is next week. And I got a lot of fun stuff going on, working on for the year. StreamYard's got awesome features coming out. So it's what better time than to check out the StreamYard application, to be totally honest with you. So anyway, I just wanted to say I'm just really grateful for all of you. So CK, you, Doug, Smackdown Outdoors, Cynthia, so many of you are always coming back. Annette from Purple Paisley Planner, so many of you are coming back and hanging out with us. And I super duper appreciate all of you. John, you were actually here the whole time today too. You didn't have to go mow your lawn or change your laundry or do any of those things too. So super duper appreciate you for being here the whole time. But you know how this works. If you liked it, let me know. Let me know in the comments even after the stream if you have follow-up questions. And I appreciate all of you that are subscribed. And if you think that you know somebody that would find this stream helpful or my channel helpful, just do me a huge favor and share it with them. That's one of the best ways you can support the channel. So I just appreciate that, and definitely excited about growing this community even more in the year 2022, which I can't believe we're here and we're almost in February. So, all right, everybody, I'll see you next time. See you later.